When dealing with inbound missiles, an important objective to keep in mind is a low heat signature. When you maneuver your ship or fire weapons, an amount of heat is generated and added to your ship's overall heat signature. The heat signature your ship generates is used by heat-seeking weapons to maintain a lock and track you. Reducing your heat signature reduces the signal those weapons can use to track you. The higher your heat signature, the easier it is for an inbound missile to track you, and the less effective any countermeasures you launch will be. Countermeasures emit a strong heat signature in an effort to distract a missile into following them instead of you. The more countermeasures you launch, the more of a distraction effect they will have on the missile. Also, do not waste countermeasures when you are flying toward a missile that is ahead of you. If you are between the missile and a countermeasure, the missile will still be able to track you. Instead, only use countermeasures when a missile is behind you and closing in on your position. It will take some practice to become proficient with countermeasure timing and placement. To get started, bring your ship's heat signature to maximum using the afterburner, weapon fire, and/or engines and thrusters. Then center all controls and quickly turn off the IDS. Go ahead and bring your ship's heat signature up to maximum now. Now stop any afterburner, engine, or weapon fire and disengage the IDS. Notice how fast your ship's heat signature falls on the indicator above the gun sight. If you were launching countermeasures, their effectiveness would increase dramatically as your heat signature drops. So if you are being chased by a missile and there is room to drop your heat signature and launch countermeasures, you'll have a better chance of fooling the missile into chasing the CMs instead of you. If there isn't enough time to complete these steps due to close range and/or low speed, then focus on launching countermeasures anyway for the best possible chance of escaping unharmed. Another option to avoid missile impacts is to try and shoot them down before they hit your ship. This is a fairly risky option and takes quite a bit of practice to master. You need to have enough range and speed to have sufficient time to face the missile and fire several rounds at it. If your speed is too low and/or range is too close, you won't have enough time to inflict enough damage on the missile to cause it to explode, as it can take several direct shots to destroy a missile. A hostile drone will now be brought in and will fire a missile at you. Using what you've learned, practice avoiding getting hit by the inbound missile. If you want more practice, remember that you can press Alt-Enter to go back and repeat any previous training stage. The drone has been placed. Avoid the incoming missile. Always make sure not to allow yourself to get into situations that make you an easier missile target. Flying directly at your enemy makes you an easier missile target and also lets the missile close the distance faster, providing you with less time to use countermeasures and evade. Getting caught at low speed, especially in the middle of a pack of hostile ships, can result in a quick demise from missiles. Don't be afraid to use the fuel and time to keep your distance when needed to minimize your vulnerability to missiles. Inbound missiles can be intimidating at first, but with a few basic tactics, managing them can become much less of a concern. In summary, effective defensive techniques include monitoring your ship's shield arrays and being ready to augment energy to an array that is losing power. Try to keep your shield arrays in the green as much as possible. Perform maneuvers that are effectively quick, but not so sharp that you lose momentum and wind up becoming a slow-moving target that's easier to hit. Move fast when you need to evade, and try to never let your speed drop too low. Remember to turn the tables on an attacker with snap 180 turns when needed. Maintain longer ranges when required by performing fairly wide high-speed turns to give yourself more time to evade and/or recharge. Drop your heat signature in inbound missile situations that call for it to allow your countermeasures to be more effective. Evade incoming gunfire at longer ranges by performing spin and turn maneuvers that make it harder for your opponent's MDTS to track your movement. Next, we'll review some basic offensive maneuvers and tactics. First, some important technical details and principles. Beam cannons fire laser energy that moves at the speed of light, so they only need to harmonize and point directly at the target to hit it.